I don't consent to recording my call except for my wife. What's going on?
Hello?
Can y'all hear each other?
Yes,
Yeah, go
we
ahead.
can. Okay, so basically, the contract. Okay, so there have been several contracts. The first initial contract was for the rest of the Judge Walker and the sheriff, and for a rescue, which with respect to the orders for release. And then there was a part two of that. That was a two-part contract, and both parts had to be fulfilled. And the second part involved warrants and indictments for the 6 elected chiefs up here. So upon that and upon the seizing of the monies from TNG, there was at that point salaries to be paid to the appointment that were delegated, and so the person involved was appointed commander-in-chief, and under his authority were the 2 departments, CLEA, and the other department, first department, CLEA, was the Chilcotin Law Enforcement Agency, and then the second department was the Chilcotin National Security and Civil Defense. And so those are the 2 departments he was heading under his authority. And then basically there were
Hey, Pat.
several...
What?
Hello?
Pat,
What?
you're recording this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So there were several subcontracts, and upon basically his appointment.
Hey, Sue?
And,
Sue, can you hear me?
yes,
Hey, this contract you had, what was the name of that Fugitive Recovery Company?
it was Hookem and Bookem Fugitive Recovery Limited, I believe, and so they were a legitimate company.
And they had copies of court orders that they said they viewed as legitimate, and they were going to be able to get me released from jail.
Yes, there were arrest warrants with respect to all of the people I mentioned, and also Judge Payne.
Right.
Judge
Okay, but they
Taylor.
said they were going to basically take everybody into custody and transport everybody, right?
That's correct.
Okay, and Pat had nothing to do with that, right?
Absolutely nothing. She knew nothing, even like I said, the arrest warrants.
And it was right. What it was this Fugitive Recovery Company, or the FBI, posing as a Fugitive Recovery Company that contacted Pat and tried to bring her into it, right?
That's correct. That's as far as the newspaper article goes. And I really never did talk to Pat about any of the details of the contract. Certainly, she didn't know anything about that. She just knew.
Right. So what we've got here is a lawful company, a business that's registered, that they're in the business of picking up fugitive and transporting them with, as long as they got lawful court orders, and they took from your court, a sovereign nation's court, a lawful court order, and they were supposedly going to execute those orders and take into custody those people that are in those orders and transport them to your court, right?
That's correct. And we had several arrest warrants ready for other individuals up here as well. Upon executing those arrest warrants and indictments, there were several other individuals who also were basically needing to, there were other arrest warrants and indictments that were going to be served. Basically, there was other.
Okay. All right. Well, they were looking at doing a lot of work for y'all then. That was the whole deal.
Well, right. I mean, basically, they were going to then proceed to shut down our borders and so on and so forth. So we were
Right.
going to set up as a nation. And like the private investigators from Canada had told me,
was the
what
guy
was happening was
Shut up, Mike.
So there was nothing illegal about
Sue, repeat that because Mike was trying to talk the same time you were.
Okay, so basically the private investigators told me on record there was nothing wrong with what was happening if we were a legitimate nation. A new country can operate as a country, and that's exactly what we were doing. So there was nothing illegal about that. It's just that we are being attacked unprovoked. For one, the arrest or release orders were being violated by Judge Walker from 2016, and his refusal to recognize your diplomatic immunity was at issue, and we were bringing him to justice. If he, had not been guilty of anything, he would have been released. There's no kidnapping involved. There's someone coming before a court and being adjudicated. He has full rights to representation and so on and so forth. So there's nothing illegal about a court operating as a court. And so, this is all, admitted to by Canada and the United States. And certainly there's no charges pending against me, and there should have been after 8 months. They should have found something. In my briefcase, I have all my documents. All these contracts are in their hands, so they know
right,
exactly.
And think about it, Sue. If they charge Pat with conspiracy, then who's she conspiring with, herself? Because
pretty much that's what it comes down to. I mean, we're this is all such bogus attempts at so unjust and certainly a huge contravention of international law. So this is there's just nothing there, and for them to lie to her like that is egregious and certainly reprehensible. And for them to take an innocent person like that and just harass them to this point is, in my opinion, terrorism. I think the United States and Canada have committed terrorist acts against the Chilcotin Nation, and certainly them harassing our Grand Chief and our Queen Clan Mother, stealing her computer and stealing all of our computers with classified Chilcotin documents needs to be dealt with. I mean, they can't just get away with attempting to murder me, attempting to murder you, and call that a day's work. I mean, that you just don't do that to people in this day and age. So basically, that's what else was I going to say on that? With respect to the minor subcontracts, those are going forward, and Dean had in his hands arrest warrants and indictments before he proceeded to do anything, and so there's just nothing.
All right, what do you think about this? Tomorrow, Pat needs to either ask for a continuance so that she can get proper counseling, because this guy doesn't recognize a sovereign nation and an ambassador's wife having immunity, and he either is not willing or not capable of presenting that to the court, and so therefore the court lacks jurisdiction, and we're not conferring jurisdiction. But in order to be able to present this properly to the court, we need to have some time to get somebody that can properly come in there and articulate it, because obviously you and I aren't there to do that. Otherwise, we would be standing there with her.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I can certainly be a witness for anybody, you or Pat or anybody that needs to have me come in as a witness for their case at any given time, and that is something I would be very willing to do. But at the same time, my position was this, and I told Pat that there's three things why this needs all proceedings against Pat needs to stop right now. One, her case has been dismissed by the Universal Supreme Court. Number two, she has withdrawn her guilty plea based on fraud by her attorney. Number three, basically she has diplomatic immunity as ambassador's wife and on her own.
Okay. One thing, she withdrew the plea also because of it was extorted out of her. She was only pleading guilty under threat, duress, and coercion. That if she didn't plead guilty, she's going to immediately go to prison. She's not going to be able to take care of her animals. They're going to die.
Okay, well, so, whatever process you esteem is to, further her innocence and her ability to function on our embassy, and certainly with respect to her diplomatic immunity, she needs to do what she needs to do to protect herself, and certainly if that is the process that that is deemed to be the most beneficial, then that is the way she needs to go. So, but at the same time, she does need to serve the Universal Supreme Court orders on the court, which is a writ of mandamus and a flash order for the lower courts. And so, she does need to get into the record that we are proceeding against any illegal activities by lower courts against our nation and against our diplomats, and we will indict for war crimes anybody who violates international law. So those are things she needs to get on the record, whether spoken or in writing through my orders or.
What if she provides a copy of this recording to the judge to review?
Yeah, absolutely. Anything, like I say. I mean, I'm willing to be there as a witness and testify.
Right, and what you're talking about is not a threat to this judge at all in any way. What it is just to let her know that the fact that a sovereign nation has the right to its own courts, as accorded to the Montevideo Convention on Diplomatic Relations, Article 3, that it has a right to its own government authority, and it's not for another country to come in and try to dictate what it can do and to arrest and detain its ambassadors and ambassadors' families, especially in light of the fact that we've done nothing illegal. We're not subject to the statutes of their corporation because of our diplomatic community. And so we're wanting to, function as we are. And the reality is that this is nothing but a political vendetta against me because I sued the judge and the DA back in 2009 because they falsely had me charged when they knew that I was innocent when we were attacked. And the whole thing is nothing but a way to try to silence me from exposing their rigged elections, which I was suing to void.
Right, and so that needs to be stated, all of that, and certainly, to emphasize the case is dismissed. Any proceedings is a violation of law. And so a higher court has spoken, and, we kindly would expect that they would abide by a higher court's orders.
1 minute remaining.
It's not a threat. It's just a precaution that we are providing to the court that if they proceed, they might be and certainly will be indicted for war crimes. It's not in any way, shape, or form anything other than constructive notice. So, they're
all right, I'm fixing to run out of time. I love you, Pat, and I'll talk to you in the morning.
Love you too.
Take care, Sue. God bless.
You too. Bye-bye. Okay, so.
Go ahead and finish your conversation.
All right, so anyway, I'll leave it at that. I just wanted to let you guys know about what was in the contract and certainly what wasn't, and basically you cannot be held accountable for something you didn't know. So,
Okay, I think he's gone.
yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to have to go